Joe Hopkins here, and today I'm going to tell you a story. Why am I going to tell you a story? Because in this never-ending search for content, sometimes you just run out of shit and it's good to just talk, but also because some people think my stories are funny, or at least amusing, or somewhat entertaining, or informative, or something like that. And my kid currently is running around the house screaming her head off and driving me nuts, so I thought I'd come back to the studio because she leaves me alone when I'm shooting videos, and I would tell you a story. Now, let me get my water here. I have water. I usually have a beer. I have water because I already drank beer, and I'm in the rehydrating phase of whatever, what do you call it, mild alcoholism. I don't want to admit to that. I don't have a problem. Yeah. All right. There we go. Either way, I'm thirsty. I need some water. So, there we go. So anyway, like the title says, senators are dangerous. And how do I know this? How do I know that senators can be dangerous? Not just senators, congressmen, political activists, politicians in general. They are not as nice as you might think. No, I won't say that. Some of these guys, a lot of them are very nice. They're very nice people. I've known a number of them, but they can be dangerous. All right, so my wife, at one time, not currently, but one time was a political activist. We won't get into what she was activating because I don't want to start like a little war in the comments section. I don't want to hear about your personal thoughts on the thing that she was like for this or against that or whatever. I don't want to hear it. Doesn't matter anyway, right? Because what we're talking about is my wife is background. She was a political activist. Right? She was very active in politics, and she was running around in a lot of political circles and was working with people on stuff. And we got invited to a fundraiser in Cleveland, Ohio. All right. So Cleveland is a wonderful town. If I don't know, if you really want to see the ass end of America, if you want to see what happens when the auto industry really goes to shit and all the jobs leave town, go to Cleveland. Right? All the industry, oh my God, it's gone. You just empty warehouses, empty factories, right? Cleveland isn't even that bad, okay? I know, if anybody remembers all those riots back in, what was it, 2020? Yeah, we know people in Cleveland because of my wife's political stuff, and they were live streaming a lot of buildings burning clean to the ground, right? But that's Cleveland. That's Cleveland for you. First, we went to Toledo because my brother was going to college, going for his master's degree up in Bowling Green, Ohio, right? Outside of Toledo. So we went to Toledo. Toledo is a wonderful town. It is even more destitute than Cleveland. It is horrible in some ways. I don't know. They had this slogan there, you can do better in Toledo, right? Some of you guys have noticed I wear an Ohio shirt in a lot of my videos. It's because we stopped at a truck stop and my wife was like, I need a shirt to wear to bed. So she bought that, right? But I like Ohio. Anyway, we're in Toledo. They have this slogan, you can do better in Toledo. And I saw it on t-shirts and I asked my brother, I'm like, why does it say you can do better in Toledo? He said, well, you know, compared to Cleveland and Detroit, it's like, well, can't argue with that, right? So anyway, we're in Toledo. Toledo, we kind of had fun. We stayed at a hotel. They had those old CRT TVs, like the tube TVs, like this big one, and it didn't work right. And I went to the manager and I said, hey, what's with the TV? Right? It doesn't work right. It's broken. He's like, oh, well, yeah, I wish we had another one, but people keep breaking into the hotel rooms and stealing the TVs. I'm like, this is a tube TV. How much could they really get for it? He's like, I don't know. They're crackheads. Right? So, okay, we're staying in this place where people are so methed out that they steal a 30-year-old TV that barely works. I don't know how much they're getting for it, but something, I guess. I have no fucking clue. So yeah, Toledo. We did go to the butterfly exhibit. They got this greenhouse where they have all these little, all the plants that butterflies like, and there are all these butterflies just flying around, and you can go in and be with the butterflies. That was really cool. That wasn't in Toledo. That was outside of Toledo. It was on the other side of Bowling Green. Really cool, worth going to. They had a kids museum there. What was it? The Adventure Zone or something like that. It was one of those like Science Center kid museum type things. A lot of fun. Took my kid, right? We all went down there, had a great time. Right next to this park, right on the river, that it was pretty cool. They had all these little park benches and chairs, and you could eat your lunch and all that stuff. And they had this huge TV on the side of this wall on the other side of the park. I mean, it was massive. It was the whole side of the building. And they had soap operas and when we went in, and I think some reality show when we came out. So you can watch daytime TV while you eat your lunch, and you can watch it on a screen the size of a building. Pretty cool, I guess, if you like that kind of thing. I thought it was pretty cool. We did walk down the park. God, what's the name of the river? It is the river that runs through Cleveland, anyway, or through Toledo, I mean. We went down there to see the river and found that people walk their dogs through the park, and the entire park is absolutely coated in dog shit. And you know how it is when you don't notice something on the way down? We got all the way down to the water, all the way down to the river, to the back end, and then turned around and noticed how much dog shit there was. Somehow we didn't step in any on the way down. But then we're like, well, how do we get back? You know, because once you see it, now you're tiptoeing, right? So completely covered in dog shit, the whole park, which kind of ruins the idea of having a nice lunch and watching this giant TV. The TV's a great idea, but and yes, they have big speakers and you can hear it all the way across the park. And you know, people are watching The Bachelor, 150 yards away, watching on this giant TV. So, I don't know, in a park covered in dog shit. Anyway, Toledo, yeah. Toledo tried to kill me. It did. We went to the Toledo Zoo while we were up there. We were up there for this political thing, right? It was a fundraiser. This big gala, they had a ball and all that stuff. I don't know. They had a nice dinner, right? And it was a big fundraiser, and they invited my wife because I don't know, my wife was doing stuff online, had a lot of people that she was connected with, so they invited her. So anyway, but we went to Toledo first because that's where my brother was. So yeah, we went to the Toledo Zoo. The Toledo Zoo. I didn't realize you didn't have to pay to get into the Toledo Zoo. You see, we went up to where you go into the zoo, the actual entrance where they take your money and you pay to get into the zoo. And then I had to go to the bathroom, so I went in the gift shop, which was right there. And on my way to the bathroom, I realized that the gift shop has a door open on that side before you come in, and on this side after. So you could literally just go through the gift shop and not pay. So if anybody's planning on going to the Toledo Zoo, you can go in for free, just instead of going through the turnstile thing, because nobody's paying attention. Like literally the employees there could give a fuck. You could just go through the gift shop. Go in, use the bathroom, browse, look at some stuff, and then just go out the other door. Nobody would know. And half of it was closed anyway. They had this really awesome part where you ride this train, this little, one of those little trains around, and get to see the lions and the tigers and the elephants and all that kind of stuff, except it's closed because they don't have enough people working there. It's like we didn't get to see most of the zoo, which kind of sucked. I don't know. It started pouring down rain while we were there too, which it did a lot. I don't know if that's something with Northern Ohio. While we were there, it just rained. It would just dump down torrential downpours of rain for a good 10, 15 minutes, right? And then stop. And man, people are addicted to their motorcycles up there, right? It would dump down rain, like just a torrential downpour, and people just riding past you on their Harleys, right? So anyway, we're up there, we go to the zoo, we want to see Lake Erie. So we start driving in that direction. And at some point, we end up in this neighborhood and we go to a restaurant. We didn't realize we were in Michigan at this point. So, you know, we have a nice meal. It was a nice restaurant. We come back out of this neighborhood and we start up the interstate and end up going back into Michigan, right? The restaurant was in Michigan. You enter the neighborhood, you're in Ohio, and when you come out by the time you get to the restaurant, you're in Michigan. So we go up the highway. We hit Michigan, and I thought it was a joke, honestly, about how bad Michigan's roads are. I thought, okay, it can't be that. It can't be worse than Pennsylvania, right? Pennsylvania's pretty bad. Holy shit, Michigan is horrendous. I don't know how that's not a road. I don't know how they drive on it. It's horrible. The roads are like perfectly paved, absolutely flat, gorgeous, right? All the way through Ohio, about 20 yards into Michigan. They paved about 20 yards into Michigan, and then boom, it just goes straight to shit. I mean, it's bad. It's undrivable. I don't know how people do it. When we got off on an exit, because we're like, oh, okay, I don't think this is going where we want it to. So we decided to turn around. We get off on the exit to turn around. And there is a ditch this wide and yay deep right down the middle of the exit. So I'm straddling it and hoping I don't hit your wheel hits that. You're like, I don't want to know what happens. So we get down and we turn around, we come back up the other side of the exit, go back the other way. And we're driving. I mean, it's bad. And then you hit Ohio and just smooth again. I don't know what it is. Like, if you live in Michigan, you guys really, really need to get your state to repave some of these roads. I'm talking about the freeway, right? Interstate freeways. Wow. They are bad. I mean, that's the worst I've seen. And my wife and I played a lot of gigs in central Pennsylvania. So we've been up through all around Pennsylvania playing gigs. And I've never seen anything like that. Pennsylvania's bad. For you guys in Pennsylvania, you know what I mean. Michigan is 100 times worse. I couldn't believe it. So anyway, we're having a fun time. We're on our way back. We're crossing that river. I can't remember the name of the river now. The river runs right through Toledo. Anyway, we're going over the bridge, and what happened? The battery died. The battery died. The battery fucking died. I think my battery died. So anyway, we're coming back over the river. I look in my rear view, and there's this car coming flying up on me. I get out of the way, onto the shoulder. Next thing you know, that car is turning sideways. I'm like, I don't think that's entirely him, right? Sure enough, somebody had hit that car, and I didn't get out of the way enough, and it just sideswiped the whole side of my car and sideswiped the minivan in front of us. Toledo tried to kill me. Literally, the city tried to kill me. All right, so anyway, this asshole plows into a car. The car sideswipes us, sideswipes somebody else, hits some other car that goes under an 18-wheeler. Next thing you know, we're in like a 5-car pileup, right? So this sucks. This sucks bad. The cool thing was I got out of the way enough. It didn't damage the car that bad. I'm like, okay, the tire, right? The bumper, the fender had pushed into the tire and busted it. So I'm like, okay, the whole sidewall is tore out. Let me get the spare. It was a rental car. I'll get the spare and we'll go on our way because the car was fine other than that. Lift it up. What's in the spare tire? Well, there's a can of Fix-A-Flat and an air pump. Yeah. So anyway, we call for a tow. We're watching this storm come up on us. Next thing you know, it's dumping down. So my brother comes over, picks up my wife, my cousin, and my kid who are with us, who are with me, right? And I wait for the tow truck, waiting in the rain. The cops are telling me, you got to move this thing. I know, dude, I called the rental car place. They called a tow truck. It's coming. What do you want? Waiting. Everything else is cleared up. Finally, the tow truck comes over there. He tows the car. We go, out to the airport there where the rental car place is. We rented the car where we were. So we went to where they had a another place from the same rental people. My brother drove us. It's at the airport. We get there. They hook us up with another car. We're good. So we're good to do this political thing. We're here doing good, I guess. I don't know. Once again, not going to tell you what we were doing. Don't want the arguments because political stuff gets arguey, and it's not relative to the story anyway. So anyway, we go out there. You know what they have right up the street from where this thing is? They have one of those little carnivals with kiddie rides, right? All the kiddie rides. So I got my kid with me. I'm like, this is great, right? We're here early. We got plenty of time. We're going to stop there. That actually was fun. Other than, riding the rides with my kid. You get on that kiddie roller coaster, you got to get your knees like all the way up here and you're crammed in and riding that little roller coaster with your kid. They tell the parents you can get on it with them. Don't get on it with them. You don't fit. Trust me. But anyway, we did that for a couple hours and then we went to the political thing. We're having a fun time. It's really nice. All these beautiful people, they're all dressed up real nice. It's all this political stuff. They're senators and they're congressmen and they're state senators and they're, a former speaker of the House is going to be talking today, and a whole lot of fun in Cleveland at a fundraiser. And mostly, I'm not into all the political stuff. I'm driving the car. I drive her places. I bring the camera. My wife at the time, she wasn't just doing political activism. She's also a writer. Well, she is a writer, but she was a regular contributor to the Huffington Post at the time, and she contributed to other news outlets. So she was also reporting on it. It's funny. Some of her political friends that were at this thing, the people that invited her, they would joke and say, hey, look, the liberal media is here. Because I guess my wife is the liberal media. Well, she was. At the time, she was kind of the liberal media. It was kind of fun. It's kind of fun being, we're the press, right? Look at it. Look at this jackass. Yeah, no, I carried the equipment. I drove the car and carried the cameras and stuff. So anyway, we're doing this thing. We're having fun. She's watching this whole event, right? They had a meal. They did have a dinner. I enjoyed the dinner, right? And we did pay for the dinner and all that. Pay for the tickets, I think. We did. I don't know. They invited us. I think we might have paid because we're supporting. I don't think we had to pay. I think they would have let her in anyway. But we paid because we're supporting whatever this is, right? So whole lot of fun. I'm sitting there next to an Ohio State senator, right? Sitting across from a couple of U.S. Congress people. And we're all having a nice time and talking and discussing things, and not even discussing political things. We're talking about just general shooting the shit, right? Having a lot of fun. This state senator I'm sitting next to, he's a pretty cool guy, right? I'm thinking, this guy's pretty cool, right? He's a pretty nice guy. Next thing you know, and this is where I'll tell you, senators can be dangerous. Because next thing you know, a protester shows up. Not a protest. There wasn't really a protest going on. There wasn't anybody else there. Just one lone protester, which is, I thought was pretty damn funny. What was even funnier, this dude, he was like, I don't know, 5'5" maybe, looked like he weighed 120 pounds. He was wearing these cut off Daisy Duke shorts and this little halter top that's like too tight. I mean, I'm like, okay, all right. I didn't know what he was doing at first. He come running in with a bullhorn, yelling something. Couldn't understand nothing. Didn't know what he was yelling. But this guy's just having a great old time. Runs in, he's screaming stuff. Next thing you know, everybody's looking at him because he's making a lot of noise. And this state senator right next to me is wearing a tan suit. Real nice suit, real tailored and all. I don't know, he must have played football at some point because he just, shoulder down, just tackled that little fucker. I mean, just wham, right into him, right? Meanwhile, the protester just knocked the wind out of him. Next thing you know, they're rolling around on the ground and the protester's just giggling. I mean, giggling. It was fucking great. This guy's having the time of his life, just squirming and, you know, moving around, trying to keep from getting like pinned or whatever. And this senator's trying to get a hold of this squirmy little bastard. He's just giggling and squirming around and keeping out of him. And I'm standing there laughing. I'm like, hey, should I help him? Nah, I think I'm going to watch and laugh. It was fucking great, right? Senators can be dangerous, but that protester was having a great time, man. God bless him. He was having the time of his life, just, I mean, squirming around, and he got out of the guy's grasp, started running around a bit. Next thing you know, the senator just, you know, stiff arms him, knocks him back over, jumps back on him. They were wrestling around for a good 15 minutes or so, just this senator trying to get a hold of this just wiry little dude. And having a hell of a time with it. It was hilarious. It was great. Nobody's helping him. I don't know. Nobody's helping this guy at all get a hold of this protester. Nobody's helping the protester either. We're all just kind of watching, like, here's today's entertainment. Really, really fun. I had a lot of fun with that. But eventually he did get a hold of the dude by the ankles and started dragging him out. I mean, dragging him down the hall by his ankles. And that dude, he was just squirming and giggling and having a grand old time. And the rest of us were having fun watching it. Next thing you know, he gets to the door and somebody held the door for him. He just drug him out and that was the end of it. We did have a lot of fun with that, though. That guy, he had a hell of a tackle. Knocked the wind clean out of that little dude. But little guy recovered quick. I gotta hand it to him, you know. And I know we were there in support of whatever it is they were doing. But whatever that guy was protesting, whatever his stand was, is beyond the point. He was a tough little guy. He really, he took quite a tackle there. He took quite a beating and just seemed to be having fun with it. So that's my story about going to a political thing. The story after that isn't quite as interesting. It mostly involves me driving another, 6-7 hours clean through the fucking night so we could get home, so I could get a couple hours of sleep and go to work the next day. But there you have it, right? That's life on the road, man. Anyway, yeah, that was a fun day. Senators will tackle you. There's always one dude who will straight up put you on your butt. And if that happens, be like that little protester and recognize that that was likely to happen and have fun with it. Because that dude seemed like he was having the time of his life. I don't know what he was on. Maybe he was just high on life, man. He had fun. I think that senator had fun. Everybody kind of had fun. Yeah. That was you know, not quite an angry protest. They were having a good time. He was having a good. We all had a good time watching, right? I wasn't going to jump in. I wasn't going to spoil the fun for anybody. So anyway, that's my story. That is the story I'm telling today. If you found it amusing, then good for you. If you found it informative, double good for you. And if you didn't like it at all, well, what can I say? Screw you. And subscribe to my channel. And I'll probably do more normal content in the future and not just ramble like an idiot in every video. But I will do more videos where I ramble like an idiot. And I will probably tell more stories and maybe even funnier stories. I have funnier stories. I'm debating whether or not to tell them because I don't know if they could get me in trouble. But I could tell that one. I could tell that one because I'm not giving too many details. I'm not going to say who did what. I'm not going to give any names. I'm not trying to get anybody in trouble. And I love you guys. And I'll see you in the next video. All right? All right. Hey. You guys take care, man. Peace out, baby. Bye-bye.